Puerto Rico and the Philippines have many things in common because both countries were conquered by the Spanish, and after that, the Americans.
Today I am in Ilocos Norte, a city in the Philippines, and it's so hot, so a frozen treat is the best. Ilocos Norte is a place that you can ride in the tricycle. It's the best way to move around, including getting to the hidden world. This is, as you can see, is a plant world and also a restaurant that serves delicious food. Where I ate longaniza, but my favorite, this is fruit and meat wrapped in rice flour.
My country, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines have so many things in common, starting with the fact that Puerto Rico and Philippines were both conquered by the Spanish. That means that both countries are predominantly Catholic. Both countries have very similar food, including their names. For example, this is called, in my country, empanadilla. It's called empanada here. This is called longaniza, and in my country it's called the same way. And this dish has a different name here, but it's very similar. It's fried pork. Now, these dishes are similar and have similar names, but maybe the taste is different. This, for example, is empanada, and it's a mix of salty and sweet because it has longaniza, which is this sausage, a very salty sausage with fruit. It has mango, papaya, eggs, and sausage. Yes, it does taste very distinctive, let's say. When it's very big, so this can actually be a whole meal. It is made with rice flour, so it is a very very airy, kind of the outer crust is very airy. In my country it's more kind of chewy, maybe, because in my country it's done with regular flour, and when you bite into it, it's very when you bite into it, this empanada tastes like a little salty, like it tastes like it's a dessert but a little bit salty. Longaniza is a typical dish from this area, Ilocos, and it is very similar to the one in my country, including the name. Puerto Rican longaniza is longer and it has a bit of a different taste. This area, Ilocos, grows a lot of garlic, so of course the typical dishes of any country include the foods that are available, readily available. And since there is a lot of garlic grown in this area, it is used in a lot of dishes. And when you bite into it, there are whole pieces of garlic in it. For example, I have one here. This is a whole piece of garlic, so they don't even crush it, or they use crushed garlic and also they use whole garlic. And another difference is that longaniza here has whole parts of fat, which gives it a lot of flavor and a lot of softness when you bite into it. This longaniza has big chunks of fat that are very visible when you bite into it. This is a whole piece of fat right here. We can take it out if you want to make it a little bit healthier. You can take it out completely. And there are very big pieces of garlic. For example, this is just a whole piece of garlic here instead of making it crushed. And it's so salty, it's so good. But it's the kind of food that you cannot eat every day, or at least even a lot of quantities, because it's so salty. Maybe I'm not used to it, but I think it's too salty and too fattening. I don't think you could eat this food all the time, but it is definitely delicious, and you have to mix it with something with a little bit less flavor. For example, some fresh fruit or vegetables. This is just a piece of tomato. And when you get these kind of very savory dishes, you also get some kind of vegetable, and it's great because it really gives you a balance of salty and sweet. This dish is fried pork, and it's a lot like the one in my country. It's just the chunks of pork fried, but it tastes to me, when I bite into one of these, it tastes like just the meat. Like there's not a lot of seasoning. Now, maybe I'm being unfair because I'm comparing it to the one in my country, which is very savory. It has a lot of flavor. When you bite into one of these, I'll take this. When you bite into one of these, it tastes pretty much like just the meat that it's cooked. Now, I think the little flavor that it does have comes from the fat in it. And I'm not trying to be healthy talking. It's literally chunks of fat. Do you see all this white? It's pure fat. I know that some people like it, and I guess it comes from, it's crunchy from the outside because you see it's brown. It's because it's cooked, and then it's fried, and then the inside part, it's pure fat. It's very, I guess when you're stressed, it's de-stressing to kind of cushion it. And then it has just a little bit, do you see this little brown tip? This just little meat. And some people just eat it. I know in my country some people just eat it just like this, and I've seen it in the Philippines as well, people eating it just whole like this. When I was little, my mom would always say, fat is bad, fat is bad, and she would take it out of my chicken, she would rip it out of the meats and everything, and it stayed with me, so I can't, it's not a good feeling for me to eat it whole, but I can definitely taste it in the meat, in the little meat it has there on the tip. Definitely. Now, maybe I get a comment from a Filipino saying, yes, it does have, correcting me and saying that it does have seasonings. But once again, I'm just comparing it to the one in my country where when you bite into it, it's very savory. This one has a very kind of clean flavor, you know, just the meat. It's just fried pork. Very delicious, very unhealthy. We should try to not be delighted in the taste like I'm delighted now. Savor the moment. And like I've said, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's more like a clean flavor. It's not so savory, but I think that what people love about this dish, about fried pork done this way, is that on the outside it's very crunchy. You can see it's darker because it's the part that was fried, and when you turn around you see the part of inside is very pinkish, not pink but whiter. We can compare here the colors, and this means that the outer part is very crunchy and the inner part is very soft. This dish is called waruk waruk, and it is from this area, from Ilocos. It consists of different parts of the pork and mixed with mayonnaise, and so it's a special mayonnaise mixed with the condiments from this area, and then it's applied to the pork. So when you bite into it, By the taste of it, I think I'm pretty sure it's cooked in the coal because it tastes very like barbecue. It has a very kind of a sweet barbecue flavor to it. I don't love the flavor. Maybe it's because I love mayonnaise and I was expecting a very mayonnaise-y kind of taste. But it does taste very good.
The Philippines is such a great place to travel to. The people are great, the beaches are gorgeous, everything is so cheap, and the food is delicious, including the smoothies. The world is gigantic and it's full of flavors. Go out and explore them. Until next time.